After a long period of going back and forth with myself and a lot of deliberation, we finally have it, guys. This is the top 10 best sneakers of 2024. It's been one of the wildest years for the sneaker industry in general. There's been a shift in trends and people prioritizing different things when it comes to their next sneaker purchase. But overall, I think there's been a real healthy mix of different sneakers and not just the over-reliance of like retro models that we've seen in past years. So with all that being said, let's get into this list, and coming in at number 10, the New Balance 1000. Now, I picked up a couple pairs of this model right when it first dropped, the original metallic pair and then the ALD collaboration. Now, these quickly became sneakers that I just wanted to wear all the time. Now, I do think that the best colorways dropped like right after I bought both of mine, which is the two-tone colorways. I think they did like 3 or 4 different versions, but I just had to hold myself back at this point before I just buy them all. They're super comfortable, have a really cool look to them, like a mix between a New Balance 9060 and like an Air Max 97. The main and kind of only problem that I have with this pair of shoes is that it's a little bit pricey at $150. I feel like they would be way more popular. More people would be willing to try them out at like $110, $120. But overall, great sneaker, and I think we're going to see a ton more in 2025. At number 9, we got the Adidas Evo SL. Now, this shoe making the top 10 was not even a consideration when I was going to buy this pair of shoes. But after I've spent a couple weeks in them since their first release that completely sold out, they very quickly became my favorite everyday and running shoes. And I don't say that lightly. I've spent the better half of this year testing out every single pair of running shoes with the most crazy cushioning technology, all to find the best like comfy everyday running shoe hybrid. And because Adidas intended this to be a crossover shoe that you can wear casually and also run in, they managed to make them look really good, made them incredibly comfortable, and still perform well for like actual running. They're super lightweight and are pretty affordable, especially when you put them next to the competition. So yeah, bottom line is they definitely had to make the list. They immediately are now part of my rotation, and I love these things. Also highly recommend checking them out. They're going to drop again, I believe, on December the 12th. Even though the first one sold out, you should have another shot. Coming in at number 8, we got the Zellerfeld Cro Marsmellow. Now, before you ask me what I'm smoking, these mainly made the list because of the technology that this pair of shoes has. These are a very polarizing design and certainly not the most wearable pair of shoes, especially from like an everyday perspective. Very specific outfits work with this pair of shoes, but this is the very first sneaker released with this new 3D printing method. It basically allows the shoe to almost act like a pillow of air or some kind of fabric. The upper feels incredibly soft and collapses as you walk, so it just is super comfortable. The tech is honestly so advanced, it makes a lot of the other 3D printed shoes feel like old technology. Now, there's too many details to kind of go into right now, but if you do want a full breakdown on the stuff that Zellerfeld is cooking up in their crazy secretive lab, I'll drop a video link down in the description. I've tried 3D printed shoes from both Puma and obviously now Adidas, and maybe I'll do a comparison one day. I don't know if you guys want to see that, but we could do like, you know, all of the different 3D printing shoes and compare their technology. Bottom line is, what Zellerfeld managed to achieve with the Marshmallow really opens up the door for entirely new possibilities of what they can create with future 3D printed shoes. They're now a serious option when it comes to footwear, and I definitely think this tech deserves a place on the list. It's that time of year again. The Represent Black Friday event is dropping November the 20th. So whether you're picking up some steals for yourself or grabbing some early Christmas presents, there is a bunch of insane pieces for a fraction of the price. The vintage black Apex sneaker is one of my top picks. It's going to be 45% off. Great quality, super versatile. You can wear them all the time. I recommend going true to size with these. The Storm Runner is also going to be part of this event for the first time ever. They are the most comfortable shoe Rep has ever made. I recommend these things for like everyday wear. These are also true to size as well. Underrated pieces, in my opinion, have to be the caps. These things fit so incredibly well. I literally wear them all the time. There's going to be this one, the Rep cap, along with my personal favorite, the embroidered cap. And low-key, if you want like an affordable gift for someone, these things are a go-to. Like, I wear mine a ton. But of course, the staple Represent Owners Club hoodies are also going to be a part of this event. I really like the pastel green and the mid-purple colorways if you want something a little bit different. Super nice oversized fit, and I guarantee they're going to be one of the best quality hoodies you have ever bought. There's going to be a ton of other stuff for Represent Black Friday, so just make sure you're on time because stuff does sell out pretty quick. And also, if you want to be in before everyone else, you can sign up to the app and get early access. I'm going to leave all of the product links down in the description for you with some sizing info, so definitely check it out down there. A massive thank you to Represent for always supporting the channel, but let's get back to the video. Coming in at number 7, we got the Adidas AE1. Now, if any brand was going to cause the resurgence of basketball sneakers, I didn't think it would be Adidas. I thought it would be Nike. But here we are with a general release signature sneaker from Adidas and Anthony Edwards, and it is flying off of shelves every single time. It looks great, it's comfortable, and it's affordable. It's also really cool to see people rocking basketball shoes with casual outfits. It's like all of the shoes that I really wanted back in the day were like performance basketball models. I also really like the marketing behind the AE1, even though that doesn't really contribute to the pair of shoes. They just nailed creating this kind of lore behind the sneaker. The lows are definitely my favorite. I just want them to drop more colorways. And now that they're working on a second version, that could be super interesting from first looks. It looks pretty wild. But yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see what's in store for this model in 2025. Coming in at number 6, we got the Futura Labs Nike SB Dunk Low. This is basically like the main dunk that really stuck with me this year. I just really felt like it had an impact on me with all of the like really unique colors and materials and overall design. I mean, 2024 hasn't been the best to the dunk. It's definitely lost a lot of popularity. Been interesting to see all of that play out, but these just seem to keep this real special place with me just because of how crazy these things look. Now, obviously, they're nothing revolutionary. They haven't really changed much or diverged from the regular SB dunks, and a lot of the hype behind it is definitely piggybacking off of what Virgil did with Futura on the like thousands of dollars worth of shoes. But aside from all that, and I'm typically not a super flashy shoe guy, but these things just somehow work really well. So yeah, definitely in my opinion, one of the best dunks all year. Coming in at number 5, halfway through this list, we got the Artifact Nike Dunk Low. Now this one, admittedly, I was very late to the party on. I only recently picked them up, but I was familiar with Artifact's work before Nike collaborated with them and dropped a physical product. Artifact is a company that is focused on digital fashion and collectibles through the form of NFTs. And in my opinion, that's the least interesting thing about these shoes, the whole NFT aspect, at least to me. Obviously, I know that that's a massive deal for most people involved with this pair of shoes. But yeah, when they finally teamed up with Nike and decided to launch physical products, I think there was 4 different colorways in total, it really showcased how perfectly they managed to blend Artifact's futuristic gaming aesthetic with Nike's heritage, focusing on the Dunk Low. And I absolutely love what they did with these things. Each pair comes with an NFC chip embedded into the heel area, so you could just put your phone over it, a little tag pops up, so you can actually claim the virtual version or the NFT version of the sneaker itself. You've got these really cool tongue clips that are removable, so you can take them off or put them on. But the coolest thing about all of that is the fact that these clips are actually made or designed open source, so people can hypothetically create whatever they want, 3D print it and attach it to the shoes. There's an entire website dedicated to people's different creations that they've made to attach to their respective Artifact dunks. And honestly, the creativity around this gets pretty insane. They just add a whole other element to sneakers and collecting sneakers that nothing else on the market really compares to. Coming in at number 4, we got the Travis Scott Jordan Jumpman Jack. Now this one, I spent a lot of time deliberating on where I should place it on the list. But at the end of the day, I think this sneaker really represents how much of an impact Travis Scott has had on the sneaker industry as a whole. And the wildest thing is that it hasn't stopped. And him finally getting his very own signature sneaker with Jordan Brand is a massive deal. Travis Scott and Jordan Brand have had people going crazy for their shoes for absolute years now. They break records on the Nike sneakers app for the most amount of entries. They literally get millions. And it really does seem like the interest for these shoes is not going away anytime soon. Now this Jumpman Jack version is definitely a little bit more polarizing because they're $200 and some people don't really like the look of them. But what you can't really say about them is that they're not authentic to Travis Scott. They are literally like a mix of a bunch of different Travis Scott shoes that he has worked on. Got a little bit of Jordan 1, Mac Attack, Air Trainer 1 DNA all mixed into this one pair of shoes. So clearly the Jumpman Jacks are just shoes that he loves wearing. Overall, I really like these things. They're definitely not perfect. I do think that they're overpriced and have a few downsides, but the significance of this pair of shoes definitely outweighs all of that. All right, real quick, we're gonna hop into some honorable mentions. Unfortunately, there was some phenomenal sneakers that had to get axed from this list, but here's 3 which I just thought had to be spoken of in this video. The Jordan 4 RM, I know, controversial because some people love them, some people absolutely hate them, but honestly, I think Jordan Brand doing anything other than retros has always been met with some pushback. They're comfortable, affordable, made really well with good quality materials, and I think it's a dope new model from Jordan Brand. Another honorable mention would be the Travis Scott Jordan 1 Low Medium Olive. Super clean colorway. Of course, made with elevated materials just like every other Travis Scott Jordan 1. I do really like this pair of shoes, but at the end of the day, it's nothing really, you know, new. There's nothing that we haven't really seen yet. There's been so many Travis Scott Jordan 1 lows, and it seems like we're still going to be getting quite a few. It's a solid, but definitely an honorable mention. And then last one, the Jordan 3 Craft Ivory. I know, Marshmallow is still on the damn list. I've been speaking about these things for like this entire year since they dropped like back in February or something. It's just really a standout pair of Jordan 3s that pretty much checks all of the boxes. But let's do this. Let's hop into the top 3, starting with the Marvel A6 and Kith collaboration. This is hands down the best collaboration of the entire year, in my opinion. It is the perfect balance of these 3 collaborators coming in and all putting like an equal amount of effort into this final product. The release was super exciting and well executed. Every single pair came with a mystery Marvel comic book, which you actually didn't know how limited it was until you got them in and opened it up. So you could literally get like a super rare comic book or just like one of the common ones. You had a bunch of different colorways, all based off of Marvel villains. So you had the Spider-Man and Venom A6 GT2160, which is the pair that I got, or pairs that I got. Same model for the Green Goblin pair. You got the Silver Surfer A6 Gel Kayano 14, and then finally the Magneto A6 1130s. Every pair comes with insane details, like the crazy pictures that you get on the insoles. The packaging is also probably one of the best I've ever seen, and the mystery aspect of the whole comic book thing is just something that's so freaking cool, because obviously we're like collecting sneakers and this plays into it so perfectly. It really reminded me of what Nike and Off-White did with the 50 Dunks, when there was like a mystery pair that you didn't know what you were gonna get. Some were more rare than others. And honestly, I think after brands have pretty much run the freaking collaboration space into the ground by just adding, you know, boring logos to already existing models, this felt refreshing, it felt exciting, and it felt super premium. So yeah, it definitely stands out to me as almost like a tutorial for like how you should do a collaboration. But coming in at number 2, which should come as no surprise, it's the Jordan 3 Black Cement. Yes, it is one of the most iconic sneakers of all time, coming back as true to the original as possible. Even though, candidly, I will say that I do prefer white cements in general over the black cements. But yeah, the sheer fact that we've had so many different retros of the Black Cement 3s, I think this is the 7th time they've brought them back, but this one is literally as close to the OGs as possible. And there's all like little subtle differences between all of them. I think they look the most different to the 2018s. Like there's quite a few changes that they've made. They really nailed the accuracy from like the shapes, the colors, the differences that they made to both the tongue and the sock liner. No reimagining with this one, so they're not playing with anything. They're just making these as true to the 1988 pair as possible. So yeah, pretty straightforward release. That is a must cop for most people, including myself. But coming in at number 1, and yes, this might be a little bit of a cop-out, it's the Jordan 4 Bred Reimagined and the military blue 4s. Look, I tried to separate these two, but I couldn't. They're just so good, and they're both really great at like different things, but equally deserve the number 1 spot. They're 2 OG Jordan 4s that I always wanted to own and never really knew if I was gonna get the opportunity or not, but here in 2024, I managed to get both of them. Now, the Bred Reimagined were really well done because they actually changed the whole entire material of these things. They're now leather instead of nubuck, and actually a lot of people prefer that look, including myself. Like, they like the leather. It's a nice change up. They feel great quality and even adds like a visual change to them. Some people don't like the lighter look of these being matted out black instead of like the nubuck, which looks like a little bit darker. And the military blues were not a reimagined release, so they were as true to the originals as possible, which meant that there were some differences to the other retros. But the military blues have only re-released 3 times since their OG drop back in 1989. So like, unlike a lot of the other shoes, like I said, the Black Cement's got 7 different retros. I believe the Bred 4's got like 6. So it was high time we got another release of these. But there you have it, guys. Listen, I want to hear from you. Just drop your top 3 sneakers of 2024 down in the comment section. I'm gonna have a read through, and I'd just be very interested to see how different it is towards mine. And of course, if you want to check out another video, just click that one right over there.